Hello everyone and welcome back to Manor Lords, a medieval city building game with the real-time strategy element. In the last episode, we were able to get all of our farms laid out and our first harvest, even though that harvest was not very good. As well as build a manor house in our new province and start taxing the people ever so little. We got some of our barley shipped over through packing stations to Hogwarts and fended off old Grumpy Face for the first time, conquering a new land even though we didn't want it. This leaves us with 2 lands remaining for bandit camps. But in this episode, we'll be tackling more about the taxes to try to stabilize ourselves, maybe to actually conquer some more land and get away from having to raid bandits all the time. So if you're excited to see something like that, go ahead and hit the like button and let's jump in to Manor Lords. Alright, so one of the first things we want to do is what is this? A band of outlaws? First thing? Well, how are we going to deal with this? The good thing is for some reason, Lord Grumpyface left his troops over here, and it seems to have triggered them. Maybe we'll get off of this with just a little bit of verbal warnings. Well, it seems like he was able to take care of him, and unfortunately, that gave him the ability to take on another land. But I can't allow that. So we're going to go ahead and march our troops over there and see how we do. We'll go to his battleground as he so sees fit, and we'll see if we can't take him down. Maybe we can do the same thing we did the last time and say he can leave this alone if he gives me a small payment. Unfortunately, that's going to take that territory, and I'm not very happy about that. That only leaves us one more to solicit bandits for money. Now with peace declared and him saying peace silver refuse and peace silver accept, we'll just end that conversation there, Lord Grumpyface. And now it seems we're being attacked on all fronts. We need to try to fix this and do something about it. So seeing as how peace is declared, I'm just gonna leave my troops here, just in case he starts to get any kind of fancy idea. He might try to attack our guys, and that's gonna be bad. That is a lot of retinue. I would like to attack though, as he's got these mercenaries still here, and I'd love to take out some of those mercenaries. But that seems a little too tempting and a little bit too treacherous for us. But we do have a correspondence from old Grumpy Face. But no matter what I seem to click, it doesn't seem that old Grumpy Face wants to talk to us. Unless we do it in the negotiation side. I guess we'll tell him that we'll withdraw our claims for such a price. Maybe that'll get him to back off a little bit. We are still winning this war, but again, it is just an epic stare down. And if I really have to go toe-to-toe with him, I don't think we'll win. That 36 retinue, it is definitely making me nervous. But we could line up on the back side of them, just in case we want to try to take him down. I think that might be a very good idea. So we'll line most of our troops up there, and we'll just let our archers stand in the back a little bit. Just in case. We're still within the area that he wants to attack us in, but these guys seem to be at a standstill. They might be a little glitched out. I don't know. But we need to move on to bigger and better things, like taxes. Our approval over here in Hogwarts is doing really well. The clothing market supply is definitely giving us a huge boost. The church level and the food market variety, even though we did have to take a little bit of that away. But every time that we get anything that's a plus, that's going to help us be able to tax these people even more. And our treasury is looking quite nice right now. 14,000, that's not a bad amount of coin. But we are still waiting here in Buzzland just to see how good the harvest will be next year. I'm pretty certain that we didn't get as much as we could have out of the first year, but that's the way things work in economies. First year investment is never the best investment. You gotta wait for that thing to mature. And as I see it over here in Buzzland, I really did miss out on a really awesome opportunity. That opportunity being, I should have probably left some space at the end of these houses to add some eggs, or some goats for that matter. Get some extra leather, or just have some extra food coming in. I really kind of feel like destroying these and redoing them. I thought one could at least have a spot in the back, but I really did cut out the back end of these pretty well. And wasting one of these to just do chickens, that's not a good idea. As far as I could tell, it doesn't matter how big the lot is when you do chickens. Chickens tend to not overproduce or do any extra, kind of like apples and vegetables do. So it doesn't matter the size of the plot, it produces the same amount of chickens. If you know better than I do, go ahead and leave a comment down below. But as far as I can tell, bigger lots don't equal more eggs. Now, if I was going to do something like that, we have 8 families here, and I can build a few more of our so-called artisan houses over here on the left side. So I could just wait until winter was over and ship them over to these houses, and then build a couple houses and ship them back and forth. You can redirect families to different workplaces, but I'm curious as to if I could do that same thing with houses. Now, we just got done paying our annual tax. Ugh, gosh, taxes suck. And in the meantime, a bandit camp has popped up, so I'm gonna send a spear unit over there just to take those guys down. I'm pretty certain that we'll be fine with old Lord Grumpyface here, just because peace has been declared. If not, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get wiped out. Now, I did decide to send our other 5 retinue from our new Buzzland just to join the fight. A little bit of fighting experience helps out a lot with morale. And now, with another set of bandits beaten, as well as a bandit camp claimed, that helps our treasury out a lot better. Puts us in a much more comfortable range for those regular taxes that we're charging. And we'll just send these boyos back over here to join the fight. Or lack thereof, that is. While we're dealing with our war-torn land, it seems that most of the people in Buzzland are getting very hungry. Very hungry indeed. We don't seem to be having any bread or anything at this point. The berries just came into season. So I feel we just need to upgrade this to as many people as possible. Let's get that forager hut getting as many berries as possible right now. That'll at least appease them for a little while. But our approval is way down. Taxation, not enough food variety, and hunger. Oh boy, we are really in for it. Caesar says, thumbs down in this land. Ouch. And even though that spring is upon us and peace is declared, it seems like old Lord Grumpyface has been sending his army even more. I'm not quite sure why he's doing this, especially with these guys being glitched out not going anywhere. We could probably try to take them out, but I would like to have a bigger army if possible. More retinue and a better ability to make weapons. Now, something I would like to do in Buzzland while we still have the opportunity and some regional wealth, and seeing as how we're buying a bunch of bread currently, I'd like to go ahead and try to sell some things that we currently have. One of those things is we have a lot of yarn. It's because of all those sheep that we're getting, and we're probably going to get more and more of it. So I would like to establish this trade route and go ahead and sell some yarn as much as we can. I don't really think we need too many in this, maybe like 40. We'll keep a surplus of 40 in case we need to use said yarn for our people. I mean, we do have 40 houses, so it makes sense to keep a little bit on hand. It's going to net us a little bit more money, and that's going to be good for us. Now, our time is up for our war here, and it is a definite David versus Goliath grudge match. It seems like Lord Grumpyface pretty much pulled out all the stops on us. I really hope this doesn't go down, like I think it might. Oh boy, I'm a little nervous. All right, so peace declared, and he's moving on. Oh boy, am I glad to see that. Oh, I was really sweating it there. Okay, boys, let's go home. Now, unfortunately, just as I predicted, we lost another province. So we are down to one province for all the bandits. I really hope that nobody tries to take this in the near future, as it is going to be the one way that I know for sure that we're going to be able to pay that king tax. another thought I did have was to put a small town in each one of these 3 provinces and just tax them ever so little bit to help us out. But the problem with that is, of course, more provinces, more people, more people, more houses, more tax. You can see how this is going to go down. So I'm thinking of just sticking the way it is right now and staying with my 2 main provinces, Buzzland and Hogwarts. If I can get both of them to just be really good, where I can up the taxes on them a whole lot, it makes a lot of sense. Hogwarts is definitely going to be my biggest moneymaker, as it does have most of the level 3 houses. So for now, I'm just going to continue the way that I am, and hoping that whatever I get from bandits can be used for more retinue. I would really like to upgrade all of the retinue to maximum capacity and maximum armor. And now with all of our troops safely back at home, doing the jobs that they were supposed to be doing all along, and Lord Grumpyface obviously having a hard time letting it go, we can finally get back to the things that we've been trying to do this entire time, which is work on our tax system, making sure that we can tax our people enough to pay the king's tax. Now we do have plenty of time left with 290 days till the next tax is collected, and trying to get all these people in Buzzland back to happy, it shouldn't be too big of a problem. And the reason is as soon as we can upgrade this guy and turn him into a cobbler's workshop, that is what I definitely want to do. At the same time, I'd like to put a malt house here in our industrial area. And the reason for that is we're not really trading anything here in our packing station because we don't have any barley. And it's a 2-to-1 ratio. But if we change this to malts, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Malts will definitely sell better than the barley. So if we can preemptively turn our barley into malts over in Buzzland, we can trade for some bread. And with 6k food over here in Hogwarts, it's not like they don't have something to sell us. Over here hoarding all that delicious food. Easy, gentlemen. The Lord has always said to feed the hungry, and Buzzland is hungry. And now with Buzzland having plenty of food to get us through, and a little bit of extra bread here in the trading post, I think it's time to actually turn that trade off. That'll save us a bunch of money. Because as you can see, we're not really doing very well here in Buzzland anymore. That regional wealth is definitely hurting. But we'll make that money back in no time. Now, one thing I would like to try to do to increase the morale here in Buzzland is upgrade our wooden church to a small stone church. Now, that's going to require some roof tiles and a little bit of stone. We have 15, but we need 20. Unfortunately, the stone is way over here, and that's quite the distance from our town. Now, I could set up a small stone cutting camp right here back in town and just let them walk all the way over here, gather 5 of these, and get back and turn it off, because there's absolutely no need for that to happen. And I think I'm going to do it. And to get the roof tiles, I went ahead and changed our packing station here to receive dyes, which we're making, and exchange those for the roof tiles. That'll put a little bit of a dent in our pocketbook for our money because we're trading those dyes, but I think it'll definitely help out just making our people a little bit more happy. So I've been waiting for this burgage plot here to be able to be upgraded. I have plenty of food and I have everything else at once, but it just didn't seem to be getting the supplies. And then I realized it doesn't have a family in it. So much for making this a cobbler's shop. But then I had the second idea. This would be a good opportunity to see if I'm able to transfer a family from one burgage plot to another. And with our morale super low, we're not getting any new people anytime soon. So let's give it a shot. If I tell this family to be reassigned to here, invalid assignment. Well, that's unfortunate. I do know that I could destroy this house and maybe build these up, and it would work. And guess what? We're gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and allow all these burgage plots to be built right now. And with our morale so low, we'll be able to destroy these houses and ship them straight over there. The families will move into the new houses. Now, unfortunately, these will become our artisans one day, and that's not going to help us out very much. But we can rebuild the other houses as soon as we can. We could even put chickens in these temporarily until we can get them into the artisans. Now, this house here, it can be upgraded. So we're going to go ahead and do it as well, and put it at a high priority. The reason is, I want to get that cobbler shop going. I want to get shoes being made, and I want to get them sold. If I can get the shoes sold, that'll net us a bunch more money here in Buzzland, and we can make a lot more money sooner. That's kind of the goal here. As much money as we can, as quick as we can, to get that regional wealth up to 1,000. And then, the taxes will make more sense. Dude, you lost. Just let it go. I won the staring contest. I didn't blink. Alright, so now comes the real test. We don't have any family in this burgage plot or in this one. And it's a nice summer day, so guess what, guys? You're done. Fantastic. And they should just move right over into this house. Wonderful. It totally worked. Alright. And come to think of it, we don't really need to do any more. All we have to do now is just build a new burgage plot that we want right here. And then this family can move into this one into the new one we build, and so on and so forth down this line. All right, good thinking, Addo. Future Addo will be so proud of you. And so I did it. I just moved a little bit over, made sure it had plenty of space in the back, and built another house. And did that about 4 more times. Well, what do you know? He just couldn't help himself. He couldn't help to not claim that last land. Well, we'll take it with our same trick we've always taken it with. Declare them as enemies, go and send him a negotiation of 0 monies, and wait for our peace to be declared. He no longer really wants to fight us, but he also hasn't given up on the old battle site. It's okay. In the meantime, we'll go over here and try to take out our last bandit camp. This will be the last one, so c'est la vie. Now, we are going to have to run over here because old Grumpy Face is probably going to trigger these guys with his army coming at him. So I've got my boys running as fast as they can to get here. But as you can see, Lord Grumpy Face has quite the head start on us. He may just overlook this last bandit camp and go straight for the battleground, but I don't know yet. It appears that maybe he's already taken them out, as there are no bandits here. So, unfortunately, our spearmen are not the fastest. Maybe we can tell our archers to come over here and try to get this a little bit quicker. It does appear that he's going to overlook it, so that's a good thing for us. I'll just go ahead and let these guys slow down a little bit, but still get here in a timely manner, please. Neither sleet, nor snow, nor wind or rain will keep my army from getting that loot. Well, this is it. Our last spoils of war. It belongs in my treasury now. And that puts us at 1,300, so that's a good start. But unfortunately, it appears that we're actually losing this battle over here. And I don't know why, really. We're going to go ahead and put some of our troops in here and see if it'll tell us that we are supposedly winning this war. I would really like to make sure that we are winning. I'd hate to lose a territory. Seeing as how we've been talking a lot of junk to old Grumpy Face, losing to him, that's just not acceptable. And it would be his first territory past his other 2. I don't really feel comfortable about that. Especially because he'd be putting a wedge between my territories here. Now back here in Buzzland, we're looking a lot better. We have all of the houses transferred over, and our approval is slowly going up. We're not quite at 50% yet. But what we'll do is the houses that do have people in them, we'll go ahead and upgrade them to chickens. Now we had already upgraded this burgers plot for chickens, but it's time. It's time to get ourselves a cobbler's workshop. So we'll go ahead, while we have the money and the ability to do it, go ahead and transfer that person into a cobbler. Now in the background, we had been trading all of our roof tiles and we're good to go. So we went ahead and changed our packing station over to bread. Well, and the reason is, once again, Buzzland is out of food. We can't take that kind of hit again, a second time. We have a few vegetables and we'll soon have a few eggs as well, but not enough to get us by. So good old Hogwarts to save our bacon again. Boy, I think the people from Buzzland would really like to have bacon right now. We're going to temporarily trade the bread and yarn. And the reason is we're making quite a bit of that yarn. We're selling a lot of it, but we're making quite a bit of it as well. And I would like to just get that bread as quickly over to the other side as we possibly can. Good old Hogwarts over here is magically producing as much bread as they possibly can. If we have to, we'll switch over to vegetables and probably get more veggies for yarn. But for now, we'll just keep it bread and yarn. You know, everybody likes bread, especially rye bread. It's delicious. Now over here in Buzzland, our harvest finally came in, and it was a good one. 608 wheat and 474 barley. Buzzland to save the day. With that kind of harvest, the whole region is within our grasp. We could have lots of houses all over, little tiny villages everywhere across this entire land. We could conquer every realm, feed every family, a chicken for every pot. Wait, no. Okay, maybe we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. But that's all dependent on old Grumpy Face here. He just needs to seriously let it go. Be like Elsa and just let it go. I mean, you can't even see our guys. If it wasn't for the icons, I don't think I would see them. Hold steady, fellas. It's almost over. Don't blink. So with our barley harvest finally coming in, we're going to change this packing station back over to barley and send some bread that way. That way we can get that barley back here in Hogwarts as soon as possible. And we'll probably have to put a few more packing stations in. I want that barley coming in here as quick as we possibly can, until we can build a malt house. Once we build the malt house, then we can have malts being traded for everything and get the better barter value. But where are we going to take people from and put people in? Well, I really don't care about this dyer's workshop. It can just go away. And we can just go ahead and put another packing station in right now. We'll go ahead and set this sucker up right next to this one, close enough to the trading post so that we can get it in there. And I'm going to put this at an extremely high priority and go ahead and order another mule and put it in this one as soon as it's built. I'm going to get this rolling as quickly as possible. I really would like to get some weapons over there. That way we can have some archers and pikesmen on the other side of the world. And it appears that we have won another battle and peace has finally been declared. Well, what does that mean for us? Well, we pretty much own the realm. You'd think I'd be more happy about that, but those bandit camps, they were coming in real handy. And now, our next big battle, well, it's gonna be for Lord Grumpyface's lands here. He's got 2 of them, and we want to rule it all. And I'm pretty sure that's how you beat this. But we just don't have the army for that yet. But right now, our more pressing concern, well, it's Buzzland and the fact that we never seem to have enough food. We are -2 vegetables. Does that mean somebody vomited up some vegetables? I don't know. But as you can see, we are definitely in the need for some food. If we don't get something soon, we could have a real problem on our hands. We're still trying to send as much barley as we possibly can for anything over here in Hogwarts from Buzzland. But it is a process and it takes time. Granted, they're not very far away, but still, it's going to take a minute. And the trade isn't that good. A barter value of 0.07, not the greatest. Now the bread is a lot better, but still, we need to get as much food from here to there as fast as we can. But now with both of our packing stations working hard to get as much food to Buzzland as possible to save their lives, we'll see if Buzzland just can't try to provide for itself for the time being. Our farmhouses have already threshed a lot of the wheat into grain, and it's ready to start being turned into flour. So I think it's time to go ahead and put a person in each of these windmills. We could probably put 2 in one and it might be more efficient, but we'll find out. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and throw a person here in the communal oven. Now, as of right now, we don't have any flour, but we got plenty of grain for days. And my hope is that we can produce just enough bread to keep us afloat. For now, we still have vacant houses, and now that our approval is at 50, even with all those negatives, we should be able to go ahead and get Buzzland out of the red and into the black, as they say. So I'm just gonna let things play out here in Buzzland over the winter, and I'm gonna jump forward just ever so little bit, just to see if we can't make these people happy enough to tax them a little bit more and to feed the rest of Hogwarts. Having enough bread and getting the barley over there, we'll see what happens. We may even shut down a few fields in Hogwarts if it allows. And now that winter is over and we're firmly in spring, Buzzland, it's looking a lot nicer. All those vegetables and bread that we've been trading have been paying off quite handsomely, as well as it looks like quite a bit of barley has made it over to Hogwarts, leading to us having 8 months of food here in Buzzland. The 2 packing stations have been doing a very good job of keeping everything moving. Our barter value is a 1-to-1 on the vegetables and a 2-to-1 on the bread. That's helping us stay over the top in Buzzland. As well as Buzzland's personal communal oven has been cooking up a storm. We have 41 bread stored here, meaning that we probably don't need to have it come from the packing station anymore. As well as we've been turning that grain into flour pretty steadily, enough so that I could turn off one of the windmills and still stay on top of it. This means we'll probably have to put more people in our communal oven to make that bread. But while winter was going on, I went ahead and put in a stonecutter's camp, and that way we could collect a little bit of stone so that we could upgrade our church. It was really far away, but carrying all those stones keeps the blood flowing, and that keeps you warm. So now we have enough stones to go ahead and upgrade our church, and this will increase our approval. That way, they're not so unhappy that we're taxing them so much. And speaking of taxes, our treasury changes pretty regularly now. The only thing I can assume from this notification is that we're getting 95 coins from Hogwarts, and we're getting 21 coins from Buzzland. That's not too shabby. And if you do the simple math on this, 95 plus 21, well, that's 116. And if you times that by 12 months, that should be somewhere in the range of at least 1,300, if not more. Taxes are fixed. Maybe? I don't know. We just paid off our royal tax at the beginning of the year, and I'd like to have a second royal tax saved before we start buying more retinue. That way we can ensure that we always have the money to pay the taxes. Yes, go figure. A ruling body that lives within its budget. Who would have thought? So one little side note while we wait for the church to get built is, I don't think we got all the fields planted during the last planting season. The difference between the grains here is pretty obvious, and this particular field only has a 20% growth, so I can only assume that somehow we didn't get all this planted even though we had done it in the past. Odd. Definitely something to keep an eye on. But over here in Hogwarts, even though we have our first 2 packing stations that are delivering us our food over to Buzzland, I built an additional one. And this particular guy, he's sending warbows. For barley. That seems like a great trade. Weapons for alcohol? A win-win. And this would allow us to actually make some archers from Buzzland themselves. And that's a great blessing. Now with 5 retinue and 15 archers, with more to come, we can increase the retinue over here. That way, if we ever get attacked over here by some dirty bandits, we'd be able to fend them off at least until the main force arrives from Hogwarts. And now with our church being at level 2, it definitely gives us a boost in the approval ratings. And that's going to come in real handy if we need to tax them just ever so little bit more. But with our food situation finally solved, and we have more than enough coming in through taxes, and since everything is going so well, we may even consider going somewhere else. But that's going to have to wait for the next episode. And if you are enjoying the series, go ahead and hit that like button to show your support. And if you would like to show your support in other ways, there are some links down in the description. One is for Patreon, where support on Patreon gets your name at the end of the credits, and I'll name a city after you. The other link is for Discord, and Discord is free to join. There you can reach out to me personally, or join in a conversation with the community, and make game suggestions. Another way to support is to leave a comment down below. I always enjoy a comment from the community. But as always, the best way to support is to like and subscribe, as it does help the channel out. Hit the notification bell so you can be alerted of any time any Manor Lords or any other content gets uploaded to the page. Hit one of the buttons at the end of the screen to see what else we've played, and don't forget to keep gaming for the love of games. Bye now.